All right, before we get going here, did you bring snacks this time, Dan?
Have you walked back your Rolling Stones No Filter Tour promotion yet, Andy?
Mick got sick, tour postponed, right? Now, did you bring the damn snacks?
I thought about bringing snacks. Yes.
You thought about, I don't think I could commit to your podcast, Dan.
Over the snacks, huh? This is the third one.
Yeah, but I just have a lot of problems with this podcast.
Name 3 problems you have with our podcast.
Okay, all right, number 1, there is no title. There's no point to it. You want to be conversational, but people are going to hear the pages being flipped from page to page.
That sounds like 4 problems, Andy.
The podcast is slowly going nowhere, Dan.
Who wants to get nowhere quickly, Andy?
Oh, I don't know, Peter Puffleface?
I noticed something, Andy.
What? Stoplights?
2 things.
What's the other thing?
I'm writing all of these scripts for our podcast, but it's not really about anything. It being the podcast.
That's been my constant, nay, only complaint about this podcast, Dan.
Is that why you haven't committed to our podcast yet?
You bet your sweet bippy. And there you go again, writing lines in there to make me sound like I'm 93.
And there you go again, changing my words and adding stuff.
What? I added sweet to your bippy?
Well, I really do want to make the podcast about something.
So why is this taking so long?
I'm really stoked to be doing a podcast, bro.
Yeah, it actually is pretty cool.
Remember that time that I made you laugh?
Yeah, that was funny.
I wish we could make the podcast about that.
Well, wish in one hand and hold the other one under your butt and see which one fills up first.
I've heard this riddle so many times that I think I've solved it.
Well, do tell.
You make a wish to take a dump in your hand.
Dan, that's just gross. You painted a visual right there.
Well,
that's
you're
disgusting.
never going to get anything in the other hand, Andy.
I don't know. You could wish for a bird to land in your hand.
Did you make land in hand on purpose there?
Darn it, Dan. You rhymed make and take first.
Yeah, I know. This has been a really rhyming script. I apologize.
You wrote the script, too. I keep
Andy,
forgetting that.
Why are you...
Maybe if you talked about me more in the podcast, then I'd have fewer problems with it.
I thought that you only had the one constant complaint.
I did say nay.
Rhyming again, I see.
Yeah, you should have said I spy.
Yeah, no, yeah. Can the audience see us nodding and pointing at each other?
No.
Actually, they
more
can.
dead air.
Yeah, they can now, can't they?
No,
No,
they can.
no,
Oh, yes, they can. That's why I didn't even point.
Okay. I actually have an interview that I wanted to do with you.
Really?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
I want to ease you into the interview, Andy, with bland and random questions. Then I want to really grill you for the fraud that you truly are.
Oh, an expose. All right. Good luck. I mean, you just told me your whole interviewing strategy, though. Kind of know where you're going to go.
Oh, I kind of did.
Yeah. It wasn't very nice either.
No, it wasn't. Good thing you weren't paying attention.
I was paying attention, Dan. We are currently talking about what you recently talked about, too.
We should move this along, Andy.
Weren't you going to do an interview with me?
Oh, you still want to do the interview?
Sure. I'll do your little interview.
I don't know if I'd call it little.
Sorry. It's kind of condescending, but all right. Still, you should ask your first tiny little question.
Subtle. Remember last podcast when you brought up Al Capone?
You brought up Al Capone last podcast, if I remember correctly, Dan.
Al Capone was a bad dude. We can agree on that.
I agree with you that Al Capone was a bad guy.
He reminds me of another bad guy.
Sonny Corleone?
Oh, Santino? No, Dick Cheney.
Wow. Well, Dan, interview me. Come on, let's move this along.
Isn't it a dumb idea to register for a housewarming party?
No. Dan, come on. It's a great way to get stuff for your new place. I mean, think about it. You get into a new place, it's a blank canvas. You got to fill it with stuff.
Yeah, and you don't want to be getting like 4 sets of silverware.
No, you don't, Dan. Believe me.
Why would you make that up?
I'm not. You can believe me.
I believe you, Andy. You
Dan,
don't want 4 sets of silverware.
No. Is this part of the interview?
I'm asking the questions here, Andy.
No, you aren't.
Yeah, it hasn't been a very good interview so far.
You can rebound. Try grilling me like the aforementioned earlier.
I can rebound like Charles Barkley, baby.
Hey.
How have you gotten so far in radio with such a below-average radio voice?
You just used a lot of qualifiers there, sir.
Are you dodging the question?
No, it was legit. Well, I haven't gotten as far as I want to go with my below-average radio voice, tough guy.
So you agree with me?
You're doing gotcha journalism, aren't you? That's what you're going for right now.
The podcast has to be about something, Andy.
I don't know if I like what the podcast is about now.
So that Empire Strikes Back, ton of plot holes.
What?
Huh?
You're just going to change the subject like that?
Yippers, moving things along. Andy, dead air.
Well, okay, so I don't know if you know this, but I've always had problems with Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, yeah, what's your beef with Empire
right.
Strikes Back?
Well, let me tell you. For starters, they ask us to take a lot of things for granted, all right? The plot holes you mentioned earlier?
Like the hollowed out mountain on Hoth?
Yeah, look at that. Building that mountain. That was a big old butt mountain.
Nice no swear there. We are just supposed to believe that they showed up on Hoth in the middle of a galactic war.
Intergalactic war, Dan, and you rhymed again.
That's dandy, Andy. Anyways, the rebels somehow had time to build a base inside a mountain complete with an ion cannon that can shoot into outer space?
All right, well, in fairness, the mountain might have already been kind of hollowed out.
That was the wrong sound. The whole flipping mountain was empty inside like some enormous soundstage. Andy, you're taking me from my point.
All right, I get it, Dan, but why did they put those generators outside in the snow? I mean, think about it. Any Imperial probe droid floating down out of an Imperial cruiser could spot it. It's like, oh, those are the generators, right? When they could have just put them inside the soundstage.
I was going to say they could have found a warmer planet with all their technology. You know, a subtle plot hole.
Yeah, Tatooine was kind of nice. Oh, wait.
No,
Tatooine was gone.
Not nice.
Yeah, I got blown away, right?
Oh, you're thinking of
Yavin? Yavin.
Alderaan was a nice one that got blown up.
Oh, yeah, Tatooine's still there.
Talk to me. That's a big desert. Yeah, you don't.
What's wrong with the desert?
It's hot.
Well, we're in
And
Tucson.
it's not the good Tucson desert. It's the bad Sahara desert.
I guess there's a big difference there. Well, okay, let's face it. We're fans. We accept all this stuff. We've even accepted that the Tauntaun, think about it.
Native to Hoth.
Yeah, native to Hoth, froze to death on its very own planet.
That always bothered me.
Humans didn't freeze to death on the very same planet, but yet the Tauntaun did.
Han was Carillion.
He should have still frozen to death on Hoth. What did he have? He had a scarf, a very stylish one at that, to protect him that he dropped and you could see his face and go, oh, that's Han Solo.
They even used the dead frozen body of the Tauntaun as a part of the overnight camp that kept them from dying.
Yeah, Rebels really wanted to stick it to the indigenous species on Hoth for some reason.
Wait until I talk about what Luke Skywalker does to the snow monster.
Let's face it. Folks over at Lucas and George, come on, George, shouldn't create any more subarctic planets.
Nope. And no water planets either. Camino.
The Republic made the clone army there, if I remember correctly.
That's right. May I talk about the second episode, please?
The 5th episode, right?
Right.
Yeah, okay. Dan.
I mean, correct.
Thank you. Let's move this along. Okay, I think we were talking about one of the many plot holes on Hoth. I like this discussion.
Yeah. So Luke's feet were frozen into the top of the snow monster's cave. Frozen solid, it appeared. Nothing out of the ordinary when he used his telekinesis to get his lightsaber.
Dan, dude, it's the Force.
You know that I don't buy into hokey religions.
Oh, my God. Was that your Han Solo? That's your Harrison Ford? Oh, Lord. That was just awful. I mean, I could picture that. It sounded like Walter Matthau should deliver that line. I don't buy into your hokey religion.
Let's move this along, Andy.
All right. It's too bad the snow monster put the lightsaber so close to Luke, right? I mean, hindsight being 20/20 and all.
It did cost him his arm.
Ow. Remember that scream?
That was the right noise.
Yeah. It probably ended up killing him, too. You know, Dan, how's he going to stitch that wound up with one arm? Right? I mean, Rambo could stitch up a cut in his arm, but stitching up your whole arm, that's gone.
Rambo used fire.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And gunpowder. A beam of light, kind of sheared the bone apart. Not Rambo, but the snow monster. The Jedis are really monsters, too.
Luke wasn't a Jedi on Hoth, Andy. I told you that.
Yeah, well, Luke's a monster. I hate saying that.
It's not true.
It is. He left a one-armed monster to die. Really, seriously, Dan, we've just retroactively confirmed it. Luke is the monster.
The snow monster's hunting skills would also have been considerably compromised. Maybe Luke was the real monster in that cave.
Yeah, you go. Now you're about to make a monster of a story about the monster's snowy feet.
Oh, well said. Thanks, Andy. Right, Andy. Right.
Yeah. You know what? It's my turn to go for a potty break.
Oh, good looking out.
Yeah, thanks. Did I skip a page?
Yeah, we're on 13.
Where'd 13 go? Hold on. My 13's gone.
I'll just play you. You bet, Dan. Stop saying you're right. Good looking out, Andy. Luke's feet are frozen in the top of the cave.
Where the hell's 13? Oh, hold on. Oh, there it is. It's on the floor behind me.
I didn't put it there. So pick it up with you bet, Dan, and stop saying right.
You bet, Dan, and stop saying right.
Good job. Right on cue. Good looking out, Andy. Luke's feet were frozen into the top of the cave, and he uses the lightsaber to not only free himself without slicing both of his feet in half, but he also thaws out his frozen feet without losing them that way?
Yeah, gangrene actually should have cost him both feet, right?
He wasn't even a Jedi then.
Think about it. If his feet, if they were frozen, maybe he could have lost his feet. They could have put like a peg leg on him, or he could have been like Yoda, worn a long robe. I don't think Yoda had any feet. Wore a long robe, and then he would just float it around everywhere.
Yoda had feet. They had his 3 toes and had big old ugly nails on them. Oh, those were his hands. Okay,
Yeah, I thought he had hands. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe they did show his feet. I can't remember. But gangrene, that should have frozen his feet off.
Yeah, like you said. Yeah. Yeah, like you said, gangrene.
Yeah. We really deep dove into Star Wars there, didn't we?
Yeah, we started. Wait, did you say deep dove into and not deep dived on?
Hold on, let me check the page that decided to leap off my. It says I did say deep dove into. Did you want to write deep dived on?
No, deep dove into is the proper one, of course. That's why I wrote it.
All his Star Wars talks makes me want to see a man about a mule.
That means go potty, right?
Yeah. Okay, hold on. I'll be right back.
Go do your business.
Yeah, do a commercial.
I'll do the Secure Lazy commercial. Yeah. Oh, Andy, get out of here.
All right. Don't touch anything.
Open the door.
Don't look
quietly.
At my Google Photos folder.
Andy, good Lord! Close the door. Secure Lazy. Secure Lazy accommodates my bad back. Both standing and sitting aggravate my delicate condition. I am assigned to our high-end clients, and all of them have high-end carpeting. Secure Lazy even taught me to use my ears in ways that allow me to close my eyes while...
You want me to keep you a drink or anything?
I'm just letting you flush this time.
All right.
Are you going to come in?
Yeah, okay. Hold on.
Very good.
There we go. There we go. Okay.
The door's open again. Okay.
That's a damn cat. I think I left him in the bathroom.
Oh, the dentist? Oh, okay, let's go here.
Have we learned anything yet?
Okay, I saw this ancient aliens were 2 computers at Facebook created their own language.
I didn't know that.
Sweet, learn something.
It's kind of scary, though, robots creating their own language, right?
Oh, it's terrifying.
Yeah, Facebook created 2 computers, create their own language. That's how it went?
Yippers. The computers were given no guidelines, so once they started communicating with each other, they formed their new language rather quickly.
Then the humans figured out what was going on, right?
What do you mean, the humans? Are we still human too, Andy?
Well, definitely. Emotional like real people.
Another shot. I'll try not to feel going forward.
Is paranoia an emotion?
Not if you're actually being persecuted.
You're going to be fine, Dan. So how did the computers actually stop how did the humans actually stop the computers? You're going to be fine, Dan. So how did you're going to be fine, Dan.
I blame the script for this problem you're having.
You're going to be fine, Dan. So how did the humans stop the computers from talking to each other in their own language?
Oh, they pulled the plug. Computers need power.
Yeah, that's all you do. Just unplug it.
Now, when they restarted the computers, they reprogrammed them to only speak English.
Who's they?
The humans.
Bunch of fascists. Oh, you can only speak our language. Oh.
To clarify, the robots are English and fascists?
No, the humans.
You know what I wonder?
What? Why do people ask that? That is the most idiotic question. Like, what? Well, how could I possibly know what you're wondering? What am I, the amazing Kreskin?
That was a really dumb question.
Yeah, I know I shouldn't get so mad at you.
Do you get mad at me, or do you get mad at your insecurities?
My insecurities.
You do get emotional. But it's okay. Andy, you're only human.
What were you wondering, Dan?
Oh, yeah, my point. I wondered if the humans could translate the robot language to see what the robots were talking about.
Golly, if the robots started talking about the Terminator franchise beef...
No, not the last one. Genesis, that one doesn't count toward the franchise.
How many times are you going to say that, Dan?
14. Sorry. You were talking about computers talking to each other about the Terminator franchise minus...
Dan.
Minus...
Let it go.
Oh, all right, sorry.
Let it go.
Minus Genesis.
So the robots talk about the Terminator franchise, then the robots realize that they could take over the world, right? Skynet.
That would be just like in the movies then.
The thing about a war between humans and robots, that assuming that the robots enslave humanity, I really can't imagine a peaceful transition, though, of power, if somehow John Connor leads the human race, I mean us, to ultimate victory.
No, in theory, robots would kill all of us if humans didn't get John Connor. And who would be the fascist then, Andy?
We'd be the fashionable fascists, right? That's an easy one. The robots, though. Fascists or murderers.
Correct.
Right. You know what I'm wondering?
About the ape in Congo that spoke sign language and how the humans in their group translated it?
How are you going to speak sign language?
Whoa, did I guess what you were wondering?
Yeah, I never said this to you, but that was pretty impressive, Dan.
Yeah, you've never said that before.
So this ape in Congo, the movie, signing to the humans. Not writing stuff down about being an ape and stuff, just going ahead and communicating with the humans. Not saying, oh, by the way, I'm an ape in case you haven't noticed it.
No, the ape was not keeping a journal.
I did not get that movie Congo at all. It's like, hey, let's create an ape suit and then we'll make a movie around it.
I figured you should teach people sign language before apes. I don't know. That was a obscure movie reference.
All right, and this would be a good time then to play obscure movie trivia game.
I love that game!
All right, and Friday the 13th, part 3. What was the name of the kid that Jason killed to get his first iconic hockey mask?
Shelley.
Whoa, dude, that's correct. Friday the 13th. Very good, man.
Friday the 13th is pretty mainstream, though, Andy. If you're going to be obscure, you have to be obscure.
All right, well, but this one. The guy who gets the arrow in the neck in the very first Friday the 13th movie. Who was that big actor?
At the time, he wasn't big, though, right?
No.
Johnny Depp was in Nightmare on Elm Street. Elizabeth Berkley was in Showgirls. Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon is correct, sir. All right. Sorry, your turn to answer a question or ask a question.
Sure. What year did Kathy Bates win a Tony Award? That's for our Broadway play for her role in the play. Redundant. Night Mother.
Kathy Bates won in Misery, right?
Right, Kathy Bates. Yeah, the Kathy Bates from Misery. She started on stage, obviously.
Yeah. I can hear people yelling at the screen. Hold on, I'm using the force.
Everybody knows
this. I'm picking it up. It is 1983.
Nailed it.
Yep. Fatal Instinct. Here's one for you. Starring Armin Asante.
He was in Judge Dredd.
He was. Armin Asante. He worked a lot with Stallone in the early days. And Sean Young. He's a great actor.
Not going to correct you.
The movie came out in 1993. If you remember, it was kind of a screwball comedy. Carl Reiner directed it. Who wrote it?
It would have done better at the box office, but it got dwarfed by a movie called Jurassic Park.
That was a big movie about dinosaurs.
Back in 93, yeah. Who wrote Fatal Instinct, directed by Carl Reiner? That's really easy. That's David O'Malley.
Whoa, correct.
Yep.
Didn't he work on another thing?
He wrote and directed Kid Coulter.
And that was about the guy who had to, the kid who had to survive in the wild. Yes. He learned, right?
His dad, a mountain man, taught him.
Great movie. Yeah.
Okay. This is going to get tough, okay? Are you sitting down?
That
wasn't the question. I'm just kind of killing time here. Okay.
I mean, I could stand if I need to.
No, stay seated. What was the name of the criminally insane felon whose soul was exorcised into the department store Chucky doll at the beginning of Child's Play?
If I remember correctly, it was Brad Dourif playing the part of Charles Lee Ray.
Boom. Those the dynamite.
And do you know who the voice of the new Chucky is?
Mark Hamill.
Oh, really can't stump each other, can we? Chucky with a lightsaber. Now, that would change everything. I guess we both win, right?
I won for sure.
Really? Seriously? How can you be sore at tying? You're a sore tire.
Sore drawer.
There's no term for what you did because no one's ever done it before.
So you're saying that I'm unprecedented?
All right. After all of this, have you thought of the name for the podcast yet?
Of course. I never stop thinking about stuff that I deem to be important.
Do you want to tell me it?
What's the point, Andy? I'm just going to explain my process to come up with the name. Then you're going to cut me off to tell me what the name is. Then you're just going to tell me that the name already exists.
I promise I won't do that this time. I mean, you can't keep thinking of terrible names unless you're doing it on purpose.
And you promise you won't cut me off?
Cross my heart.
No one can see you crossing your heart, Andy.
They heard me say it, Dan.
What did they?
Cross my heart?
Okay. You know how we are both big bird fans.
Oh, for crying in a bucket, Dan. Come on. Really? Birds?
We can call it the Big Bird Podcast.
Wouldn't it have to be a show about birds then?
Yeah. I don't want the podcast to be... I want the podcast to be about something, but not birds.
And you know that The character of Big Bird is from Sesame Street, right?
Oh, no. But that is the same problem that literally every other podcast name I have thought of has had.
Every single one.
Literally every single one.
You'll figure it out, Dan.
Thanks, Andy. Well, we got to go. Use Bing, not Google. I'm glad we did that again. That was funny.